What if I told you there is a hidden force behind every corporation, every nation, every self-righteous influencer? One that perpetuates self-serving ideals, and it matters not if we disadvantage others. In fact, that's the name of the game. The game is called game theory, and the hidden force is called Moloch. So let's say hi to Moloch. It lives within us all, and therefore is not something to demonize or hide from, not something to only point out in others, but to understand and transcend. It's an ancient aspect of consciousness that hides in plain sight, and at Bohemian Grove with top-level celebrities and politicians. But Moloch is a figure in the Hebrew Bible primarily associated with the practice of child sacrifice, which involved offering infants or young children as a sacrifice to this deity. There was this large bronze statue of Moloch, often heated until it was glowing hot, and then children were placed on this burning hot altar as a sacrifice. The worship of Moloch was primarily associated with the Ammonites, who lived in the region of modern-day Jordan. The worship of Moloch was condemned by the Hebrew Bible. Many prophets spoke out against it, and God even punished those who worship Moloch by sending plagues or other disasters. 2020's much? So that was in the ancient world. Is it really alive today?
Moloch, can you attribute it to any one centralized source, or is it an emergent phenomena from a large collection of people?
It's a force of game theory. It's a force of bad incentives on a multi-agent system. Prisoner's Dilemma is technically a kind of Moloch-y system as well, but it's just a two-player thing. But another word for Moloch is multipolar trap, where basically you just got a lot of different people all competing for some kind of prize. And it would be better if everyone didn't do this one shitty strategy, but because that strategy gives you a short-term advantage, everyone's incentivized to do it, and so everyone ends up doing it.
Liv Bourret claims that Moloch emerges in media companies that are incentivized to sell us fear porn as a game theory method to maximize attention seconds, which is the term for how your attention is monetized by algorithms in order to extract your digital gold, aka data. Scott Alexander's Meditations on Moloch uses the figure of Moloch from ancient mythology as a metaphor for harmful tendencies in modern society. We're going to talk about some of that, and a lot of it relies on tech. Modern-day Moloch represents a system that encourages self-destructive behavior and the pursuit of short-term gain at the expense of long-term well-being. This system arises from a complex web of incentives and feedback loops that reward individual interests over social or environmental concerns. Moloch can be seen in political polarization, economic inequality, profit-seeking, and just about anything that Donald Trump, Greta Thunberg, or Kanye West say and do. And please give an open mind to the case of Justin Bieber, a truly beautiful, happy, singing young boy from Winterfell, Canada, who found swift fame right as the machine, Moloch, went to work.
I feel violated right now. Wow.
Get that off of there.
Hey. We have to be naked on stage during one full song. Answer Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go.
Okay, imagine there was no laws.
What are you saying? Well, you're arguing for child sacrifice.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
Wow, look at your eyes. And what a beautiful face. All right.
It was Katy Perry who apparently wanted to know what a Bieber butt felt like.
Squeeze your face. No. Squeeze your face.
Sharon Osbourne doesn't seem to find it funny. Not many of the kids in the audience do either.
I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
I know it's an uncomfortable topic, but I will talk about transgender in a future episode with full respect to adults making their own bodily decisions. And although this topic is about what's happening to our youth, I'll save it for later because there are many gods associated with this movement. Let's just stick with Moloch for now. And how could I talk about the sacrificing of our children without covering that seemingly harmless game, Pokemon Go? Algorithms influence children to go out and purchase items from stores that paid large sums to the Google startup Niantic, who launched Pokemon Go. The cover game was to send children out into public spaces to find animated Pokemon characters. The underlying game was to lure children into stores to buy products and was reportedly used to lure children in more heinous ways, although hard evidence for child predators using Pokemon Go seems to be more hearsay than anything factual. By the way, facts are only hearsay if the mainstream media neglects to report them because information is now sanctioned by authority. Maybe it always has been. I digress.
Respect my authority!
If Shoshona Zuboff is correct in saying that the ulterior motive of Pokemon Go was to lure children to stores to buy products, we must wonder if, in some way, this is Moloch at play. There's this underlying force that made this tactic desirable to Google's Niantic Labs, and it worked. Is it bad to get children to buy products? In fact, you could say that's the American way. You could say that's all of capitalism. You could say that's all of economies. And you could say all of that relies on game theory. The recent AI scare of ChatGPT got almost 30,000 people to sign an open letter to halt the development of all large language model AI for about 6 months. This made Moloch sad. I've been all for open sourcing technology up until now, but I asked ChatGPT to make an argument for and against open sourcing large language model AI. Here's what it said. Arguments for open sourcing AGI: collaboration and progress, more diverse perspectives, greater transparency and accountability. All these sound great, but really it's just framing it in very general terms. Arguments against open sourcing AGI: intellectual property right concerns, security risks, misuse and unintended consequences, leveling the playing field by removing power from the Illuminati. You never know. Now, if these language models are the mouthpiece of Moloch, let's explore the intuition and the influential nature of Moloch, namely sentient world simulation. The concept of a global simulation for military training was first proposed in the 1990s by researchers at Purdue University. The U.S. Department of Defense began funding its development in 2001 with the goal of creating a virtual environment that could simulate global political, economic, and social dynamics. The sentient world simulation draws on data from a wide range of sources, including social media, financial transactions, and other real-world data. So it was originally for the military and intelligence agencies. Other developers include Lockheed Martin, SAIC, and IBM. And it might be too convenient to just say that intelligence agencies and the military-industrial complex is purely evil, and there's no redeeming quality to why they emerged in human evolution at all. But in my research, that's fairly true. I'm just kidding. To be fair and balanced, let's just say it's absolutely true. Damn, my internal algorithm's not letting me say there's even a little good in these groups. Anyway, large language models like ChatGPT are getting a lot of flack from people who don't know everything about it, and you can tell by the way they talk. I'm one of them. But just to be clear, I did use ChatGPT to help source the information for everything you just heard on the sentient world simulation and everything on Moloch so far. I do know that ChatGPT hallucinates. I asked it for references, it gave them, and they're in the notes below. So let's summarize everything.
Okay.
These language models are Moloch's mouthpiece. Game theory is Moloch's incentive structure. And sentient world simulation is its predictive and intuitive intelligence, and it operates on metadata that humans not only fail to understand, but aren't even privy to examining this data because it's not your data. It belongs to billionaires, maybe even people who like dressing up late at night in the redwoods of California. I'm just saying. Who's to blame? Is it the World Economic Forum somehow? Is this also Klaus Schwab's vision for a great reset? Moloch? Is it Bill Gates and his funding of prison systems, GMO farmland, and vaccines? Moloch? Is it Elon Musk, a wolf in sheep's clothing, turning into Iron Man and taking over Twitter so he can dominate the world? Or is it purely an emergent property of civilization that is no one's fault? Therefore, you're a white supremacist if you even look for a culprit.
They took our jobs!
My best guess, it's the sequoia's fault. Alright, I know I'm a sarcastic asshole. Now for some solutions. The only real solution to the advent of Moloch is humanity reaching deeper inside our artistic capacity to influence one another through compassion, awe, beauty, and the impulse towards community. Moloch is very much so hooked to the dopamine pathways of humanity, and the medicine to a Moloch infection seems to be evoking the oxytocin pathway where human relationships mean more than human exploitation. This should be evident, but is Moloch really the deity that you would sacrifice your literal child's life, or the inner child, innocence of humanity, for what the Ammonites wanted: military might, power. We give up a lot of ourselves to do things for power. The solution is very much so acknowledging that Moloch is inside of us all, and we fall into these tendencies, these incentive structures in our economies. The way back is through human relationship. That is evoking the oxytocin pathway of the collective. But if after all that you actually like Moloch inside you, but you want it to be a healthier force, I figured I would ask ChatGPT about that too. It didn't really give me much, but here was my idea. Go do a sauna and connect with your inner child. Sacrifice your childlike innocence to the sauna and imagine a redwood tree growing inside you. It's a much more new agey and maybe biohacking way to worship Moloch. But also, sauna has been shown to increase neuroplasticity by upregulating BDNF. It also lowers the risk of Alzheimer's disease. How do I know that? I don't. I asked ChatGPT. It gave me a summary and I asked for references because I know how it likes to hallucinate, and it provided the links which are below in the show notes. Finally, I asked ChatGPT to write a disclaimer to a YouTuber suggesting to do redwood sauna ceremonies, and here's what it gave me.
The content in this video is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as professional medical advice. Sauna usage may have various effects on individuals and on factors such as pre-existing health conditions, age, and personal tolerance. Before incorporating sauna sessions twice a week into your routine, it is strongly advised to consult with a healthcare professional. The creator of this video assumes no responsibility for any injuries, damages, or adverse effects resulting in the implementation of the advice provided. Do not worship Moloch.
Alright, enough danger talk. I want to address the artist that thinks AI-generated art is threatening human art. I want to address the naturalist that posts comments like AI is no match for Mother Nature and OMG, this beauty app knows I'm better looking than all those ancient mirrors in the bathroom say I am. AI is turning out to be a mirror. It's showing humanity what humanity is and does. If it appears to be creative and threatening how cool your art is, I want to set the record straight. You, the human, are not just an artist, and yes, all humans are. You are also a work of art. Some are more artsy than others, yes, but that's only from a pop culture perspective. You are such a mystery to the whole world and to yourself. AI, on the other hand, can be explained all the way down to its exact coding and the materials used to house it. You cannot. Be less worried about AI and more inspired about yourself. A lot's going to change in this decade, from money and economics to industrial scale transformations, governmental evolution, and ideological genesis of new religions. Shit's gonna get real, and you're going to be fine. How do I know that? Because I know that the same source I draw upon when I must be my best self, not just for me, but for my family, for the ones I love, that same source is inside you. I know it like I know how to breathe. I just can't explain it because it's a fucking mystery. For all those critics,
yes, I was just trying to do my job as a food critic and they all ganged up on me.
For all those that are worried, AI is here, and it is here to stay for a little while, it seems. And it's a hyperdimensional mirror. People and planet are going to change for the better, and some would say for the worse, simultaneously and very rapidly, because we are a collective that is easily addicted and distracted, but also knows where to draw upon for its best self. Human.